on that green vote, just so that everyone has the history on that. But this is really a debate not over that, but really a debate over whether or not the Republicans really want to support renewable energy as opposed to any other energy source. Let's be honest. That's the real debate. So, Ms. Furchtgott-Roth, welcome back to the committee.
Thank you very much.
I'd appreciate answers to these questions. You too, Dr. Kreutzer. Do you agree that if a publicly traded company has been warned that it may be delisted from the stock exchange because its shares are trading at under $1, that the federal government probably shouldn't be giving a $2 billion taxpayer loan guarantee?
I've been tricked into these yes or no questions before because I don't know what the loan guarantee
If a publicly traded company is already been warned that it could be delisted,
okay,
should the federal government be giving a $2 billion loan guarantee to that company?
I think I've made it clear in the past that I don't think the government should be in the business of making loan guarantees.
Thank you. Ms. Furchtgott-Roth?
I don't think the government should give loan guarantees to any company, period.
Okay, thank you.
Delisted, listed, whatever.
Thank you. I got it. Thank you. Solyndra was given a B+ credit rating before DOE issued its loan guarantee, which means it was highly speculative. If a company had an even lower credit rating, for example, a CCC+ rating, which means it has junk bond status and is considered a substantial risk, do you agree that the government probably shouldn't be giving it a $2 billion loan guarantee? Dr. Kreutzer?
I think I've already answered that, yes.
Okay, thank you.
We have a $1 trillion deficit. We're borrowing 40 cents out of every dollar that we spend. We should not be in the loan guarantee business.
I am with you. Now, what about a project that is already predicting a 7-month delay and a cost overrun of almost $1 billion on a $14 billion project that has barely even begun construction? Do you agree that the government probably shouldn't be giving it an $8 billion loan guarantee if it's already basically doubled its cost?
I don't think the government should in general be in this. So I don't know how far down the road they are if they're already signed agreements. I don't think of the 26 loan guarantees that were done under here should be somehow pulled back. I think there needs to be a point where you say, here's where we stop.
Well, I'm not talking about hypothetical solar projects. I'm talking about 2 nuclear loan guarantee applications that this legislation does not preclude from moving forward. And I would like to work with the majority to preclude them from moving forward. The Department of Energy has given a conditional approval of $8 billion loan guarantee to the Southern Company to build 2 nuclear reactors that the Nuclear Regulatory Commission's experts warned could, quote, shatter like a glass cup in an earthquake. The Department has also provided hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayer money in bailouts to the near-bankrupt United States Enrichment Corporation, which still has a pending loan guarantee application before the Department, but we've never had a hearing on these projects despite my repeated requests to do so. The 28 loan guarantees for renewable energy totaled $16 billion, and Congress appropriated $2.5 billion to cover the possible defaults. So 16% of the total loan value of these projects is backed up by hard currency of the Department of Energy. But DOE documents indicate that it is only going to require as little as $195 million, or 2% of the $8.3 billion nuclear power plant guarantee to mitigate the massive risks. Ms. Furchtgott-Roth and Dr. Kreutzer, shouldn't the Department require a much larger insurance policy before moving forward with these loan guarantees, given what we've just learned from the Solyndra incident and given the already very questionable history of these nuclear power plants?
I don't know the particulars of those loans and what would be an appropriate guarantee. I think I've said that if I had it to start over again, we wouldn't have the loan guarantees in the first place. Okay. How far down we are the road with this and to what extent have they been committed, I can't answer, and I think the committee has put together a bill that has picked a point beyond which we no longer accept them.
Let me just interrupt right there and say we have recently begun to hear Republican complaints that some of the loan guarantees that were issued resulted in manufacturing jobs being created overseas. I'm hearing what they're saying, that these loans should not be issued to companies that plan to use the funds to outsource jobs. I'd just like to point out that both the United States Enrichment Corporation and the Southern Company plan to utilize many expensive foreign components. And I'm sure my colleagues will be as distressed about that as I am. And hopefully you'll work with me to make sure that the Southern Company and United States Enrichment Corporation cannot be dealing with those foreigners, and so that we have the same policy for foreign solar panels and the same for the nuclear industry in terms of the foreign components that are used in our reactors. So just a little preview of coming attractions of the paradoxical nature of dealing with loan guarantees and trying to segment out solar from nuclear and pretend that there is an actually coherent policy which has been constructed. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I just point out to my colleague that under the 1703 program, the nuclear companies must pay the credit subsidy costs, but under the Obama 1705, the taxpayers paid that cost for the companies. And with that, recognize the gentleman from New Hampshire for 5 minutes. Pass.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I move to strike the last word for
By unanimous
a brief
consent?
observation.
Sure.
My question to Mr.
How about 30 seconds?
My question to Mr. Berlin was only to correct if anyone was watching this and got the mistaken impression that the Waxman-Markey bill was brought to the floor of the House under anything but the most closed of rules, and we were not allowed to offer amendments, even though leaving the Rules Committee, there were 300 new pages of legislation added to the Waxman-Markey bill. That's why I was so startled by his comment. Yes, I will admit, I occasionally veer off into supporting Mr. Markey in committee. I'll try not to let it happen again, and I'll issue my formal apology to Mr. Markey for that lapse in oversight and yield back.
Okay, we're going to let the second panel go and call up the third panel, if you would, and thank you for your patience as we had votes here, and we appreciate your participation. You want to take over, Ed?